Alright, so I just wanted to make a video here about Joan Rivers. I got a request to do it. And like they're making such a big deal out of her death and shit. I know when like a celebrity dies it's a big deal because a lot of people like the celebrity obviously or know the celebrity. So, it's routine that a big deal will be made out of it. But come on people. I mean, if you're gonna make a big deal out of Joan Rivers' death, make a big deal about the thousands of people who are being murdered by ISIS. Make a big deal about, just other people who die throughout the world, because of unjust causes. And like, it just happens. Like, when one person dies, they'll just make a huge fucking deal about it. Like, it's like, a huge fucking deal when it's not, Like, it's one person, guys. Get over it. I get that she, was this great comedian or whatever. But let me tell you, the thousands of people that are being murdered in, by ISIS are a lot more important than, not individual, but like the whole thing that's happening in ISIS, with ISIS and them murdering everybody, is a lot more bigger, is bigger than Joan Rivers dying. Alright? And, my thoughts on Joan Rivers, I know a lot of people are going to disagree, or some people, but I just found her jokes stupid. Like, if you're going to take scenarios or events, that are, tragedies, and make jokes about them, it's like, really? So you're going to profit off of people's, unfortunate people who have, like, I was not very familiar with Joan Rivers. I just knew she, was very controversial. And, I see her making jokes about the Holocaust. Um, I saw her make a joke about these three people who were trapped inside, this guy's house for 10 years. And, because I guess she was living with her daughter or whatever, and she's like, yeah, those three girls had more room than me. And then the three girls were offended by that. And then her response to them was, well, at least they didn't have to pay rent. I didn't really find that funny. To make a joke out of that is just, I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to make jokes out of, people dying. I saw her make a joke about Lindsay Lohan's miscarriage or whatever. I just don't think it's right to make a joke out of somebody's misfortunes or wrong, like bad things that happen to other people, especially right when they occur, like in the near future after they occur, like 20 years down the line, maybe, but there's a line that you shouldn't cross, and I cannot really explain where that line is, but she crosses it a lot. Like my point is, like, I guess the line is when you make fun of, when you make jokes out of bad things that happen, that's like sort of crossing the line. But I mean, like, if it's 20 years down the line or something, I don't know, but I just find her jokes offensive. I find them, and call me a pussy, call me being too fucking picky or whatever. But, it's just me. A lot of people like her, and that's fine. That's your opinion. I mean, she does have a First Amendment right to tell jokes, but I also have a First Amendment right to speak out against her jokes, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And but again, I mean, and also I mean, she just wrecked her whole fucking face with all that plastic surgery or whatever. Just pretty stupid. Anybody who gets plastic surgery, I think it's a pretty dumb move. Really, I mean, you want to do that to fucking, fix a little feature on your face? I just don't get that at all. But I mean, that's her choice. That's her personal choice. And it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect anybody else. That's her personal choice. And but I'm just saying I would never do that. But again, it's always a tragedy when somebody dies. I've said that before, I believe. And even if it's one person, even if it's a bad person, I feel it's a tragedy when somebody dies, because most likely there's going to be people affected by it. In every case, even if the person is a bad person, you know, there's probably going to be people affected by it. As I said, friends, family, etc. So and fans in this case of Joan Rivers. So yeah, I mean it's a tragedy, but I mean there's much more important things going on in the world right now than Joan Rivers' death. And for those people who claim, well, the Illuminati did it, are pretty much crazy in my opinion. You know, I'm a big believer in, you know, if you watch his channel, you know, inside jobs, government corruption. But, you know, come on, really? You keep claiming, you know, who was the fucking actor? Robin Williams was murdered by the Illuminati. I heard Adam Kokesh talking about it. And he's like, oh yeah, he tried to cut his wrists, and you know, then that didn't work, so he hung himself. Like he's like, that doesn't make sense. Well, you know, people who are suicidal, you know, if you don't know, they, you know, a lot of people will cut their wrists. I don't fucking do it, but a lot of people like just fucking cut. Remember that cut for Bieber thing? You know, they'll cut their. I don't know why. You know, I'm not fucking making fun of those people, but you know, again, it's something unfortunate that happens in our society. You know, people will, you know, cut their wrists for whatever reason. And, you know, it seems very stupid, you know, for me to, you know, for you to intentionally hurt yourself. But, I mean, there are people in unfortunate situations and that might compel them to do that things that, you know, I shouldn't have said stupid, but I mean, like for me to do it, I would think I'm stupid, but like I understand there's people in unfortunate situations and they feel stress or whatever, and you know maybe that's their way to let it out. You know, it's an unfortunate thing. A lot of unfortunate things are happening in this world, but I mean, he's like, oh yeah, he cut his wrist, but that's just a thing that people do, you know, for whatever reason. And then the claim Joan Rivers was murdered by the Illuminati because she claimed Michelle Obama was a tranny and Obama was gay. She did do that, you know, and call me crazy, but Michelle Obama has, you know, manly features, it seems. So could she be a man? Maybe, but you know, I don't know. I've heard she has manly, you know, features, but again, I don't fucking know if that's true or not. I'm not going to look into that because it's not really that big a deal and it's probably not true. Is it? Maybe, I don't know, but it could be true. I've seen weirder, but no, she wasn't murdered by it. Come on, really? You know, I've seen no hard evidence to prove that or back that up. Uh, so, you know, but yeah, I mean, it is a tragedy, but I mean, there's a lot more important things that are happening in the world besides Joan Rivers' death. You know, ISIS, the wide open borders, NSA spying, Obama being a criminal, 2016 elections, tons of more, you know, more important things going on in this world right now than fucking Joan Rivers' death. You know, I see people like going to the hospital or whatever, and that's fine or whatever, you know, fine and dandy. But I mean, just break out of that fucking mindset that the only people who matter are celebrities, because the world is a lot bigger than just pop culture idols like you know, Joan Rivers or you know, Miley Virus. That's what Miley Virus. It's a good name for her. Um, Lady, I call her Lady Poo Poo. Fucking stupid. You know, all these people are fucking stupid. You know, all these pop culture idols, which are like fucking just shoved down our throats. I also like Nikki Garbage. That's a good one too, and Katy Perry fucking promoting, you know, the military in her videos, and endorsing Hillary Clinton pretty much, saying she said something like, "Oh, I'll run a campaign ad for you" or something. I mean, you know, I also see Michelle Obama on fucking Disney Channel brainwashing her kids into thinking the Obamas are good. You know, I see a lot of anti-family shit on TV, anti-gun shit. You know, it's like they're brainwashing us, and you know, people are, oh, that's just entertainment. You know, no, I mean, it's got a deeper message than that because if they show it on TV, you know, it gets into your mind. It's all part of the system. You know, Eric Holder even admitted we have to brainwash people, you know, into their thinking of guns and the understanding of guns. So I mean, just stop paying attention to all this pop culture. There's more to life than pop culture and entertainment and comedy. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch that shit. I mean, you gotta take a break and enjoy life and watch that. But you gotta also pay attention to the news, pay attention to the politics, and paying attention to the news isn't watching CNN or Fox News. You gotta probably rely on more of an independent or not an independent but an alternative news website. Drudge Report. I mean, is probably better than Fox News if you want to get a lot of news. I love Infowars, WorldNet Dailies. I hear that's a pretty good one too. Um, so there's a lot, better things to do than just fucking pay attention to all this pop culture bullshit and sports and whatever. So there you go, people. There's my opinions on Joan Rivers.